Hi there, Tim Bauer here from LiveVideoGuitarLessons.com with the practice tip of the day. This one is for the beginning player, and today I want to continue our discussion on covering the basics of reading sheet music. This is the third in our series that we've covered kind of the basics of identifying some notes on the staff. And in the last video we covered sharp key signatures, and today I want to cover flat key signatures. And keep in mind that the goal of this short series of videos is not to make you an expert in reading music, and I encourage you to do that if you know if you'd like to pursue that. But music theory is an enormous subject. I mean, people get PhDs in music theory, so obviously we can't cover that in a few short videos. My goal is to just kind of get you used to it, so you're not so intimidated by it. I see so many of my students. Hopefully, I get them over that. But you know, I see so many people just totally intimidated by sheet music, and there's no reason for it. It's very simple to read. Just have to kind of be able to decode it a little bit, and that's what we're doing here. So anyway, let me grab some music here, and real quick on key signatures. There are 15 keys. You can have you have 7 sharp keys, and you have 7 flat keys, and then you have the key of C, which has no key signature. The lack of a key signature is the key signature. There are no sharps or flats naturally occurring in the key of C or the relative minor of A minor. I'm sorry about the autofocus, by the way. I'm leaving the autofocus on. I hope I'm not giving you a headache, because I have to hold some music up to the camera and I want it to focus on it when I get there, but I can quit moving around so much. So anyway, if you have 7 sharps in your key signature, there are only 7 notes in a major scale, so if you have 7 sharps in there, then everything is sharped. And you can have the same thing with flats. You can have up to 7 flats in the key signature, and that means everything is flat. Today I want to deal with the key of, just to pick one, B flat. And the key of B flat, get this where you can see it, that's my key signature for the key of B flat. And what this is telling me, you don't have to know that this is the key of B flat. You don't have to know how to put a name to it, but you do have to know what this is telling you to do. If this were a note, this first, I'm reading it side to side here. If this first one here were a note, that would be a B note. And what that's telling me to do, anywhere I run across a B note out here, it's going to be automatically flattened, or flatted. I'm not sure the grammar on that. The next one, if that were a note, that would be an E note, and that's telling me to flatten all the E's, or flat all the E's. So let's just get out here and read this a little bit. And by the way, this is just a little riff. I usually do this an octave higher, but I transpose it down an octave to put it on the staff to make it easier to read for you. In the next video I'm going to cover how to read off of the staff, but we're not going to do that today. So anyway, so I'm going to look over here. Alright, so I'm just going to read a couple of these notes. Alright, so remember the spaces spell face, and the lines are every good boy does fine, and then we just figure out what notes we're playing here. Alright, so this is on the second space over there, so I'm trying to, hopefully I'm pointing in the right place. It's hard to see this. So that would be, forget the flat sign for a second. Forget all the flats, key signature, and everything. Just figure out that that's an A note, and the one below it there is an F note. Then you decide if you need to flatten it, and obviously this has a flat sign next to it, so this is an A flat note. And the key signature is not telling me to flatten F notes, so this is a plain F. All right, I'm going to skip these rest here. We'll cover that in a different video. Then I'm going to go here to the next one, and the top one there is a G note, and G's are not flattened, so that's regular G. And this one on the bottom here is an E note, right? Ignore that little sign for a second. So that's an E note. Now think about the sign. This is a natural sign. Without that natural sign, the key signature is telling me to flatten all the E's. In this riff, I didn't want the E to be flattened. I wanted the regular E. So this is a natural sign. That cancels out the key signature. So this is a regular E. And then we get over here, and make sure I'm pointing the right one. So we get to the top one there, and that's a G note. The flat sign's next to it, so it's G flat. And then this is another E note, but I wanted this one to be E flat. So I had to put the flat sign on there to cancel out the fact that this canceled out the key signature. This kind of reinstates the key signature. And everything, in sheet music, everything is dealt with in terms of one measure. So once this key signature has been canceled out by this natural sign, any other E in this octave, that particular E, that follows it would automatically be a regular E, unless you put the flat sign back on there. Now everything after that is back to normal. It's just, now they're all flats again. And the last one here is That's an F note. And this one on the bottom is a D. So, so what that is, it's just a little short riff. And mostly I just wanted to read that with you. And by the way, go over to the website, www.LiveVideoGuitarLessons.com. And I have under the Study Aids tab, I have a little thing that talks, it's the basics of what you need to know to read music. It tells you the notes of the staff, and it tells you, the musical alphabet, and talks about, note duration and stuff like that. It's one page on PDF file, you'll see it. But anyway, so just so you hear what we just read, and again, I usually play this up an octave higher because it sounds better, but it's just this little riff. I'm just going to kind of establish a rhythm there, so, and it's just doing this. It's just a little thing to play with a little lead guitar work there. So anyway, hopefully that helps. The main idea is is just make sure you don't get overwhelmed by sheet music. It's very simple. Just if you take a couple of weeks, watch this series of videos, and it will demystify it all, and you won't be afraid of it, and you won't spend the rest of your life bragging to everybody that you play by ear. When a real musician hears somebody talk about that, I know that the average layperson, when they hear somebody plays by ear, they're really impressed by that. Musicians are not. That just means they were too lazy to learn how to read sheet music. I play by ear too. Every musician does. But I can read sheet music if I have to. And you should be able to also. So anyway, thanks for tuning in for this practice tip. Tune in again tomorrow for another one, and I will see you next time. Thanks.